Good afternoon, dear student. My name is Megha Rajput, Assistant Professor in BSc CS Department, IIMT College of Science and Technology. Today we discuss about database management system. Before we start the session, we will learn about what is data. So, what is data? Data is the collection of a distinct small unit of information. It can be used in a variety of forms like text, numbers, media, bytes, and etc. It can be stored in a piece of paper or electronic memory. The word data is originated from the word datum. That means single piece of information. It is plural of the word datum. Data is the information that can be translated into a form for efficient movement and processing. Data is interchangeable. So this is all about the data. Now we discuss about the database. So what is database? Database is an organized collection of data so that it can be easily accessed and managed. You can organize data into tables, rows, columns, and index it to make it easier to find relevant information. Database handlers create a database in such a way that only one set of information program provide access of data to all the users. There are many databases available like MySQL, Sybase, Oracle, MongoDB, Informix, and so on. Modern databases are managed by the database management system, and SQL, or we can say structured query language, is used to operate on the data stored in a database. SQL depends on relational algebra and tuples relational calculus. So the next topic is database management system. So what is database management system? We will learn about data, what is database. Now we discuss about database management system. So it is a software which is used to manage the database. For example, MySQL and Oracle. And any there are lots of database software. These are the common which we use in regular basis. So it is very popular for commercial database, which is used in different applications. DBMS provide an interface to perform various operations like database creation, storing data in it, updating data, creating a table in the database, and lot of very another task. It provide protection and security to the database. In the case of multiple users, it also maintains data consistency. There are some characteristics of DBMS. It can provide a clear and logical view of the process that manipulates data. DBMS contains automatic backup and recovery procedures. It contains ACID properties which maintain data in a healthy state in case of failure. It can reduce the complex relationship between data. It is used to support manipulation and processing of data. It is also used to provide security of data, and we can say it also used to view the database from different viewpoints according to the requirement of the users. There are some types of data DBMS like hierarchical database, network database, relational database, and object-oriented database. So what is hierarchical database? In hierarchical database, it is performed in the model. So data in this data is organized in a tree-like structure. Data is stored in hierarchically, means top-down or bottom-down approach. Data is represented using a parent-child relationship. In hierarchical DBMS, parents may have many children, but children have only one parents. So diagram shows the hierarchical structure of DBMS. So we can say in this diagram, university is a parents and department administration work as a child. Next one is a network model. So network database model allows each child to have multiple parents. it helps you to address the need to model more complex relationship like the orders and parts, many to many relationship it will be follow. In this model, entities are organized in a graph which can be accessed through several paths. So this is the diagram of network model. Next one is a relational model. So in a relational database model, it is used mostly used in various form. So we can say it is one of the easiest model. This model is based on normalization data in the rows and columns of the tables. Relational model stored in fixed structure and manipulated using SQL. Next types of DBMS is a object oriented. In this model, data is stored in the form of objects. The structure is called classes, which display data within it. It is one of the component of DBMS that define a database as a collection of objects that stores both data members, values, and operations. So this diagram perform the object-oriented model. Now we discuss about the advantage of DBMS. So first advantage is controls database redundancy. So DBMS can control the redundancy. So we can say it can control redundancy like it store all the data in one single database file and that recorded data is placed in the database. Next one is a data sharing. In DBMS, the authorized user of an organization can share the data among multiple users. Easily maintenance, we can say it can be easily maintainable due to the centralized nature of the database system. Next, multiple user interface. So we can say it provide different types of user interface like graphical user interface, application program interface. So these are the advantages of DBMS. Now we will discuss about the disadvantages of DBMS. So first one is the cost of hardware and software. So it required a high speed of data processor and large memory size to run DBMS software. Next one in the form of size. So we can say the next disadvantage of DBMS is it occupies a large space of disk and large memory to learn them efficiently. Next, higher impact of failure. So failure is highly impacted the database because in the most of the organization, all the data stored in a single database. And if the database is damaged due to electric failure or database corruption, then the data may be lost forever. So these are the disadvantages of DBMS. Now we discuss about the architecture of DBMS. So in the following diagram, we will see there are three tier of architecture in DBMS. First one is a one tier architecture, next two tier, and next one is three tier architecture. So what is architecture? So the DBMS design depends upon its architecture. The basic client server architecture is used to deal with a large number of PCs, web servers, database servers, and other components that are connected with networks. DBMS architecture depends upon how users are connected to the database to get their request done. So what is one-tier architecture? In this architecture, the database is directly available to the user. It means the user can directly sit on the DBMS and use it. Any changes done here will directly be done on the database itself. It does not provide a handy tool for end users. The one-tier architecture is used for development of the local application where programmers can directly communicate with the database for the quick response. Next one is a two-tier architecture. The two-tier architecture is same as basic client server. In the two-tier architecture, applications on the client end can directly communicate with the database at the server side. For this interaction, APIs like ODBC, JDBC are used. The user interfaces and application programs are run on the client side. The side is responsible to provide the functionality like query processing and transaction management. To communicate with the DBMS, client-side application establish a connection with the server side. So this we can see the two-tier architecture in the following diagram. So it is follow the client server. We can say it follow the client server architecture also. Next one is a three-tier architecture. The three-tier architecture contains another layer between the client and server. In this architecture, client can't directly communicate with the server. The application on the client end interacts with an application server, which further communicate with the database system. And after that, end user has no idea about the existence of the database beyond the application server. The database also has no idea about any other user beyond the application. The three-tier architecture is used in case of large web applications. Now, next topic is a three schema architecture. So what is three schema architecture? In this architecture, there are three levels. First one is a internal level, second conceptual level, and last one is a external level. So three schema architecture is also called ANSI and Spark C architecture or three-level architecture. This framework is used to describe the structure of a specific database system. Three schema architecture is also used to separate the user applications and physical database. The three schema architecture contains three levels. It breaks the database down into three different categories. Now, next is a data independence. So what is data independence? In data independence, we can also use the three schema architecture. So data independence can be explained using the three schema architecture. Data independence refers characteristics of being able to modify the schema at one level of the database system without altering the schema at the next higher level. There are two types of data independence. First one is a logical data independence. Logical data independence refers characteristics of being able to change the conceptual schema without having to change the external schema. And logical data independence is used to separate the external level from the conceptual view. If we do any changes in the conceptual view of data, then the user view of the data would not be affected. Logical data independence occurs at the user interface level. Next, physical data independence. So in physical data independence, it can be defined as the capacity to change the internal schema without having to change the conceptual schema. If we do any changes in the storage size of the database system server, then the conceptual structure of the database will not be affected. Physical physical data independence is used to separate conceptual levels from the internal levels, and physical data independence occurs at the logical interface level. So this is the diagram of the data independence. So there are three levels as we discuss in schema architecture. First one is a physical level, second logical level, and third one is an external level. So data independence lie between these three layers. So there are some applications of DBMS. So we can say where DBMS is used. So there are many sectors in which we can use the DBMS. So in banking system, in airline system, in universities, in telecommunication, finance, sales, manufacturing, HR management, these are the sector in which we use the database management system. So in banking system for customer information, account, activities, payment, deposit, loans, we can all solve about the DBMS. In airline, for reservation and schedule information, we use the DBMS. In university, to manage the student information, course registration, college, and grades. And in telecommunication, DBMS used in the form of keep call records, monthly bills, maintain balance, and etc. In finance department, we use DBMS in the form of storing information about stock, sales, purchase of financial instrument like stock and bond. In sales department, we use in the form of storing customer, product, and sales information. In manufacturing department, it is used to manage the supply chain and track the production of items, inventories, status in warehouses. Last one in HR management in HR management, we use the DBMS in the form of for information about employees, salaries, payroll, deduction, generation of paychecks, etc. So there are lots of application of DBMS which we use in regular basis. Now, the next topic is what is data redundancy and what is data inconsistency. So, data redundancy and data inconsistency is the important terms used in the database. Uh, a good database design is the one in which there is a minimum data redundancy and data consistency. So we can say the best database is if it is reduce the data redundancy and data consistency, it follow the data consistency, we can say this is the best DBMS. So what is data redundancy? It is defined as the redundancy means duplicate data, and it is also stated that the same parts of data exist in multiple locations into the database. This condition is known as data redundancy. There are some problems which we faces in data redundancy, like wasted storage space, more difficult database update. It will lead to data inconsistency. Retrieval of data is slow and inefficient. So this is the example of data redundancy. So we can say in the following table, there is a cricket player table in which we fill the record of all players. We like player name, player age, and team name and team ID. So there are more than one players which have same team ID, and there are more players which have same team name. So in team name there is a redundancy, so we can reduce this redundancy by helping to draw the separate table. In this table we try to reduce the data redundancy, and now we all reduce the data redundancy, means we normalize the table to reduce the redundancy. Next one is the data inconsistency. When the same data exists in different format in multiple tables, this condition is known as data inconsistency. It means data. It means that different files contain different information about a particular object or person. This can cause unreliable and meaningless information. Data redundancy leads to data inconsistency. For example, we can say if we have an address of someone in many tables, and when we change it in only one table and in another table, it may not be updated. So there is a problem of data inconsistency may occur. So these all about the database management system. Thank you so much.